A Syrian monitoring group says at least 5 members of the Islamic State group, including a cell leader, have been killed in a wave of US strikes. President Trump said that they were retaliation for the killing of 3 Americans in Syria last week. More than 70 targets were hit, most of them in a mountainous area north of Palmyra. Aircraft from Jordan were also involved. Our correspondent Hugo Pachega is in Beirut and has been monitoring the situation. He gave us his assessment of the events.
President Trump has described it as a massive strike that he said had the full support of the Syrian government. And as you say, the US military said that more than 70 targets linked to the Islamic State group were hit in central parts of Syria with fighter jets, helicopters and artillery. And I thought it was interesting that the US Defense Secretary appeared to be trying to play down concerns that this could be the beginning of a war. He said this was in response to the attack that happened last week. Killed 2 American soldiers and also an American civilian interpreter. But at the same time, he indicated that these attacks are likely to continue. And there have been reports in US media saying that these attacks are going to continue for weeks. This really shows you how fragile the security situation in Syria is. I was in Syria just weeks ago for the first anniversary of the fall of the Assad regime. Obviously, there were celebrations, but huge security challenges remain, including the threat coming from the Islamic State group. And there has been the concern that these people could try to take advantage of this transition in Syria to carry out attacks, to expand their operations. We've seen a rise in the number of attacks carried out by IS in recent weeks. And this has been a concern not only of the new Syrian authorities, but also of a number of countries, including the US. And the Americans still have a presence in Syria. They have 1,000 soldiers in the country, and their mission is precisely to counter any kind of resurgence by the Islamic State group in Syria. And, the key point here is that many believe that if there is, if this government in Syria fails, the alternative is chaos and even more violence. Syria remains extremely divided. The government in Damascus doesn't have control over the entire country, and obviously there is this significant threat coming from the Islamic State.